And we're live. Hello, everyone. It's American Hammers and Friends night. Tonight we have got Charlie. Charlie, why is your name not up there tonight? Why is it not saying?
Because
the runner's on.
Yeah, when the thing at the bottom's on it doesn't pop up. You should know this. You're the host. No, that's the wrong one. Keep going. No, it's the bit at the bottom. The thing that says please subscribe.
Oh, that's super cool. Does that need to go?
There we go.
You definitely don't need to see me big. There we go. Cool. And obviously we got Carly here as well. He was on earlier.
Oh yeah, last night. Yeah,
double duty. Cool. Let's just talk about some of the things we've got. Let's add that to the stream. Don't forget to like and subscribe to American Hammers Network on Facebook, guys. Also on Twitter, as you can see, lovely there. We've also got the official team store, so don't forget to go there, buy all the merchandise, make Tim really happy because he loves all the money rolling into him. He's a millionaire, really, so don't believe what he's saying. So, guys, how do you feel about the game at the weekend? Let's start with Big George. Go.
I was super happy. I couldn't quite believe it almost. I was walking around the boats after the match, just sort of going up to people and going, we actually won a match. We won a match. I was really happy. It was the exact lineup I asked for. I literally said the exact lineup he put out, which I was, again, shocked by. And yet we went and won. I don't know. It's just a weird feeling. I'm not used to it right anymore. It's just good. It's nice warm fuzzy feeling in me tummy and me heart. I'm good. I'm happy.
Yeah. So
I'll agree. I mean, it was a great performance. You know, pretty much from the start of the match. As I was saying last night on the show, if you haven't seen, I was surprised that we looked so dominant with only like a third of the possession throughout the game. You know, only had about 34% of the ball. But it was nice to see how there was a strike partner, you know, kind of been begging for it all season. And not only that, but it was nice to see Bowen and Fornells link up as well as they did, not just with themselves, but the whole attack in front, you know, the two forwards and strikers, they all look great, you know, and I think I was nervous until we got that third because of how many points we dropped from winning positions. I was like, all right, cool, we're up by one, but you know, here comes Danny Ings, and this is where the game is blown. But it was nice when we got that third, you know, to kind of put that game away.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, I might have had a bit of a fanboy moment. I'm probably going to get blocked now, but I messaged Bowen. I was like, congratulations on the goal, fantastic finish, great performance. Because if you just look at the highlights that were left today, and he did a little Anderson, didn't he? Just slipped it through his legs. Well, just went on his ass, just slid past him, a little run.
Oh yeah,
for a goal. Some great highlights, some great work rate, and you can see in the corner when he went, it didn't need to go there. No one would have, but he chased down the ball and won a throw-in right on the corner flag. And you can see all the supporters just loving the work rate, and I think that's what we all love, and it's just the hard graft that the players did on the weekend.
And that's the thing with him specifically, right? Is he comes in as a direct replacement for Snodgrass, and I think he put in just as much effort as Snodgrass ever does, and that's not a diss on Snodgrass. That's just a huge praise on him, because Snodgrass is obviously one of the hardest working people in that team, and yet he matched him. He matched him run for run. Like, he was tracking back constantly. He was basically playing right back at times when he needed to. It was good because it wasn't like, to get a bit technical, I apologize. Like, it wasn't technically it wasn't like a 4-3-3 constantly. When we defended, it was like 4-4-2 because he dropped so far back and he was really, really working. And then when he would get forward, he would bust a gut up the entire length of the pitch. And then his goal was incredible. He just slipped through the middle, just like he did against Liverpool, except down the run. I mean, it was Bowen was vital alongside Haller, who I called was great, by the way. Everyone else was like, no, Charlie, you made that video saying he's great and are they all wrong? Yeah, specific people out there, you know who you are, being like, oh, Charlie, you're wrong. What now? My man's out here doing bits. Anyway, sorry.
Yeah, no, Bowen was a real big bright spot, and I think a lot of it too was a motivation that I would assume that he would have gotten after Moya said that we can't rely on this championship player to be our savior. Then what was the point of going out and getting him to begin with? So you're gonna say he's not the savior, but whenever he's touched the pitch for us, he's been electric. So I can only imagine the kind of battery, that must have been running inside him, to be able to play in front of the home fans and put the performance in that he's got, and then I jokingly said, when we signed him, he, kind of became our leading scorer, because I believe he had about 16 goals for Hull before he came to us. So it was nice to see him get one in, and just I was really happy for him when he was subbed off. The reaction the fans gave him, like you said, at the end of the day, it's a working man's club. You put a good shift in, you're going to get rewarded for it by the fans. So
Yeah,
nice to see.
definitely, 100% deserved, 100% deserved, and yeah, and because I know Bowen from before, I was really proud. I was like, oh, boy, he's done well, as I said. But what is also really good is it was against Southampton, who's been playing really well, and they're halfway out of the league already. And yeah, we should be there ourselves, but let's not underestimate a good team that they are. At the beginning of the season, everyone thought they were going to get relegated. And the amount of points they picked up, no one's even thinking about them now. It's between us, Watford, Bournemouth, Aston Villa.
Especially after getting battered like they did to Manchester City at the beginning of the season. I thought that was it for them.
Hey, we've all been
turned
there.
It right around. Yeah.
Some more than most.
Yeah, it's like definitely more than most. So what was the atmosphere, Charlie, being there? What was it like?
It was I'm not going to say the best this season, but it was very, very good. Other people have mentioned, I think actually the protest stuff that lots of people try to criticize actually helped, because I think everyone came into it with a sort of, what I really like about what Hammers United have done is they've consistently given that sort of mantra of support the team, not the regime. They've been really clear about it. They keep saying it, all of their stuff. And so when people came into the grounds, when I met up with people just before they went in and stuff, who were at the march and were at the protest, they didn't come into it feeling dour. They didn't come into it feeling like, oh, this is crap, the football's crap, like whatever. They came in feeling super supportive of the team and super jazzed up. And it showed, like, the people were really, really behind the team. Even way up where my season ticket is usually. I mean, people were hyped. People were on it. And I think it showed because some of those performances were really, really good.
I think it's a pretty amazing thing, too, just to keep that many West Ham fans, calm and well-mannered, kind of protesting something as big as they are. I think with the first one had about right around 2,000 people, and this one had, almost 3 times that. And you don't see any stories or hear anything about people getting arrested, fights, anything like that. So I think that's a big plus too, and that helps it moving forward. I don't know if they have another one scheduled or if they do, what the manner of it will be, but I think that's a big plus on them too. Is just the protests they've had, the march, everything was calm and everybody behaved themselves.
Yeah, like if we had gone down, I think it would have been quite. I was concerned. Like if we'd gone down 1-0, 2-0, I would have been concerned. But luckily, the players were just up for it. Like the criticism of like Haller, I'm not going to bring it up again, but I'm definitely bringing it up again. Like he was out here doing Rabonas and stuff. It showed like everyone was confident on that pitch, and I think it was partly because everyone was so behind the team, as opposed to what I mean when you look at Burnley or whatever, where it was a bit of a rough atmosphere. And I think partly because there wasn't a protest, because people had the opportunity to do that. Then when it came to supporting team, people did it, and it was super, super beneficial.
Yeah, I would say too, they'd be pretty jazzed up because they put in a really good performance against Liverpool. I mean, shame we didn't come out of there with any with any kind of result in our favor. But at the same time, I mean, who was the last club to walk into Liverpool from the Premier League and put 2 in them to, go up 2-1 or anything like that and actually give them a fight, So I think, granted, it's a completely different formation. I was honestly afraid that we were going to do the same thing going up against Southampton. They hit, we'll set up defensively and, whatever, we'll just counter. But the formation was great. I hope we use it moving forward.
Yeah, I was at the Liverpool game and the atmosphere was great. the way we play was so much more better. And, you know, I felt when we went 1-0 down, I was like, oh, I'm gutted. You know, is this going to be a rout? And then when we went 2-1 up, it was like, oh, is this the moment? Is this the moment when Liverpool are going to lose? I was so chuffed, and I was like so heartbroken when they scored the equaliser. But it just weren't meant to be. But I was proud of the boys for the performance. And then moving into Southampton's game, you know, that must have gave them a massive lift to say, right, if we can do that against the champions, let's be honest, then we can do it against Southampton, a mid-table team. And we did. We proved it, point. And for me personally, I love having the hard work from players like our 2 centre-backs, to Bowen, to Rice. Maybe not Noble as much, but we'll get on to Noble in a bit. To have the flair players like Haller doing Rabonas. And that goal that he scored, yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. That's also hard working. Like, that goal isn't jammy. That's not a jammy lucky goal, right? He works hard for it. Like, the ball across isn't great, but he makes the most out of it and fights for it and thing. And it's like this idea of like, this is the last thing I'll say on Haller. I apologize. Like, this idea that he is like, he doesn't try it like hard enough, and he doesn't do this and doesn't do that. I totally understand, but I don't think it comes from like a lethargic place. I think he's lost, not lazy, when he doesn't have people around him. But having those people supporting him, like the Rabona thing wouldn't have happened if he didn't have the willing runners close enough to him to work. It's simple. It's really simple stuff. But when it works, it's super effective. And he is the perfect person to make it super effective. You put Bowen on Antonio, we're just having a good time. We're just having a good time. Rabonas are happening. It's like, let's go crazy, bro.
Yeah, no, I definitely have to agree with you on that too, because, you know, obviously he's going up and the keeper's going up, and that's a ball that, you know, you could easily say, oh, you know, whatever, we'll get that the next time. It just wasn't meant to be. But you know, it just got a couple lucky bounces. When you work hard, the lucky stuff goes in your direction, you know. I think he has something around like 14 aerial duels won, which is fantastic. Somebody of his stature should be able to do that, you know, but he definitely possesses a lot of skill, and the passes that he had too at the beginning of the game were concerning to me, because I didn't think that he had enough on it, as far as like getting the ball up to the final pass before, you know, what should have been a goal. But he did have a couple nice ones as the game went on. I think as he gets more comfortable, hopefully with a strike partner and the midfielders around him that, you know, move around, that'll just get even better, you know, because we all know that what he can do to bring play up into him, and that was definitely on showcase yesterday or Saturday.
Yeah, and I also like to talk about Fornals, the fornicator, as a certain someone likes to call him.
Technically, he calls him Fornals because apparently he just refuses to pronounce it correctly, and it infuriates me every single time. But yeah, no, he was amazing. Like, I don't see a situation in which David Moyes can watch that and still think, oh, Lanzini though. Like, it's just impossible. Like, the through ball for Bowen's goal is legit brilliant. Like, it's what you want from. It's what I expected from him coming in. And it was just, there were times where he was just playing ball. That's the thing, is you have that front three who were being effective, but then just to have that guy, Gio says it all the time. He has this little catchphrase he loves saying. He goes, we have to create for the creators. He always constantly says it. But having that guy slightly deeper, just to be able to play through balls, be it to Antonio or Bowen, or that final incisive through ball, which Fornals does have. I mean, there isn't a situation, I think, where David Moyes looks at that and goes, he's coming out the next game, because he has to play, because he's super. And it's not just because it was Southampton. The stuff he was doing would come off against better teams, because that I cannot stress that ball to Bowen was brilliant.
Yeah. Same one to Antonio. The one to Antonio was really well done too. I think I mistakenly said that that Haller was the one who had that pass yesterday, but not for now. I mean, he deserved to start and to play because of what he did in the limited amount of time that he had against Liverpool. Came on and got a goal pretty much straight away after coming on. So I think he earned his time, and, you know, it's just, excuse the dogs barking. Somebody just walking in the door. But no, why are they? Sorry, I'm getting distracted.
It's Bowen. He's made a beautiful run into your house.
Right.
They couldn't stop it. They didn't know what to do. They were at 6s and 7s. It was a big problem.
Yeah, no, exactly. I'll finish the point up, so I'll go see what they're barking at. But no, it was nice, and it should be this way moving forward. There should be no reason to take them out, especially going up against Arsenal. Regardless of who we're playing, there's no need to change that because it just worked so well. It wasn't just like they linked up well for one; they linked up well for three, and I don't think you want to take that out. Go see what these dogs are barking at real quick. I'll be right back.
But yeah, 4 hours, great play, great 2 assists. Wished I had him in my dream team now. That would have gave me loads of points.
It would have been nice, wouldn't
it? Yeah. So yeah, he's got a bit of starter now. There's quite a few players that have played this weekend that have turned around and said, right, this is my position. And, Jared has to start. Fornals has to start. Rice goes without saying. And then, we move on to the centre-backs. Well, I thought had a fantastic game. You could see Diop and Obama was clearing the lines. Even our new left-back. How do you pronounce his name? Ngonzi?
Ngakia?
Right back. Yeah, Ngonzo. Gonzo?
Ngakia?
He's not playing right back. He's not playing right back.
He's playing right back on the boats. That's what he's playing.
Yeah.
But for a kid that's a young 18-year-old player, he's done some fantastic clearances. And, to have that foresight to say, right, I'm not going to mess about with it at the back. I'm not going to try and do anything. I'm just going to clear my lines and just boot it into the top row, which was fantastic. Let me just, Anthony's just joined us. How you doing, Anthony? How you doing?
Sorry I'm late, guys. I'm going to be late for my own funeral.
That's okay. Just give us a quick run through of what you thoughts on the game, because we've just had our opinions. What did you think of the game of the weekend?
It was an amazing game. I can't complain. I mean, everybody was in shape. And what I especially love is that we actually had our 3 front guys score those goals. So basically, I couldn't ask for anything else. It was an amazing, amazing game.
And any standout players for you?
I'm sorry?
Any standout players for you?
I'm going to give it to Bowen. I mean, Bowen actually did it pretty good. And, I want to say Haller too, because, he hasn't done much because he hasn't had that backup. But, I'm going to go ahead and give it to Bowen.
Yeah. I think most of us have enjoyed his work rate throughout the game. And there was quite a few good standout players that we've had. And I even thought Cresswell had a good game. Yeah, nothing fantastic, but he had a good, solid game. And there was only one negative for me through that whole game, and that had to be our captain, our leader. I thought he struggled personally. Is it a case that he needs to play less games because he's getting that age that the game's passing by, and he's going to have to be a super sub? What do you reckon, Charles?
It's difficult because I do think there are definitely games that will suit him more than a game where we are like we had less possession, but we were dominating. It's a weird juxtaposition, but I do think that was the case. I don't think he played as bad as everyone else. I don't think he played as bad as everyone else does. I don't think he had a good game by any stretch of imagination. But there was even in this time where he didn't play very well, there were still some passes that were like outside of the boot, through balls, like through the tiniest of like alleyways, through defenders, like really tight. And he did pull a couple off, but overall it wasn't a great game for him. Bigger games, I think, are a bit more his thing at this point, just because he gives you that drive and that passion. But in a game like that where we're sort of dominating, he got lost in it, which thankfully didn't cost us because we were just significantly better than them on the day. But in other games it might. So he will just inevitably play less and less games as we go on. And if he is too tired, that's fine. Fortunately, Souček comes back soon. Not soon enough, but soon. Once he comes back, we'll see him a lot less, I suspect.
There you go. Anthony, what did you think of Noble's performance?
I mean, he's getting old. And I don't want to talk bad about our skipper, but I mean, it's just happening, and there's nothing that we can go ahead and do about it. I mean, he wants to go ahead and give it all that he can, but I guess that, I mean, time's up. I mean, I don't really want to talk bad about the captain.
Yeah.
It's
Sorry,
our heart.
What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think thankfully we're playing well enough to where any mistake that he may have had wouldn't have cost us big time. I mean, he did definitely give the ball away pretty cheaply once for sure. But I do think it was a little bit of one of those things where we brought Wilshire in, who, you know, you would think would play the games that you wouldn't start Mark Noble, but, you know, unfortunately Wilshire, you know, was injured for the entire season for, you know, getting himself stuck in washing machines. But outside of that, yeah, I just think there's just that point where the game just gets past him. You know, there's definitely some games that you want him in there, but he's definitely not a week in and week out player at this point, unfortunately. You know, and I think that's just the nature of sports in general. You know, there's a point where, you know, no matter who it is, somebody you love, somebody, you know, who's just a role player, you know, the game will just get past him. You know, and if he's a super sub, great. You know, I mean, I'm sure there'll be some times where we might be a lackluster team, bring him on at halftime or whatever to give that boost. Awesome, you know. But there are definitely games, and you know, the Liverpools, you know, the teams that have all this pace, he might not be the best person to play in those games because he just doesn't have the pace to keep up. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this, like I said, Southampton, we got lucky because the team played really well. I think an Arsenal game is a game that you want to play him in too, but I don't know. We'll see moving forward. If he's a liability, you got to play your best players, and if he's not one of them, then you just can't, you know, use the spot for him.
Yeah. For me, yeah, he grew into the game. He first half he was not at the races. The second half he was so much better. And I think this is going to be next season's going to be his leadership season of where he's going to be needed to come on as a sub and as show the team how to win the games for the last half hour. Because if we're 1-0 up against some of the lower teams or the mid teams, we're going to need that one to push us over the line. And that's where I see him coming on as the next season, because he is going to be almost 33 next season, I believe. So yeah, that's where I see his role. He's got to be, and that's where great leaders will come from. And I think it will thrive at that.
And it's in those big games where it's like you need, like when he plays slightly deeper because Moyes doesn't give him the luxury of sort of roaming forwards. That's, I think, where the game tends to pass him by less because he's got a more defined thing. When he's going up and down, as much as he used to be great at it when he was younger, I don't think he has the legs. Like, there's been a couple of clips on Twitter floating around today where you see the play just goes past him and he just can't keep up. And I think it's, although he does, right, he used to, when he was younger, he would run for days. It's just not the case anymore. He gets substituted quite often. But it is in those games, you know, we've seen it against teams like Liverpool away, like Arsenal away. He's like I don't know. This is probably a reference Americans won't get. He's like Wallace from Wallace and Gromit to cheese. You know what I mean? He loves it. He's all about it. He goes for it. And it's those games where he is super important, where you need leadership as well, because it's easy to lead against a team who aren't playing great and you're battering them. We didn't batter Southampton, but we obviously outplayed them. But when it's those big games where you need to tuck in, you need to be tight, that's when it's important.
Yeah. And it'll bring some of that younger players some maturity to say, look, this is what you need to do. Don't mess about with it. Don't make many mistakes. Just focus on what we're doing. We'll get over that line and get that 3 points or that 1 point against a top 6 team or whatever, just to get us through and keep us into Europe next season, or, you know, top half. Maybe even a cup run, dare I say.
Yeah, well, it was interesting too yesterday seeing or yesterday or Saturday, whenever it was, you know, the tweet that was saying the age of about 6 of the starting players in that game, and they were all 25 or below, you know, and they were arguably the best players in the day, you know, whether they just have more energy, whether they just get up. Maybe not get up for it might not be the best phrase to use, because I'm sure Mark Noble gets up for every game. But, you know, their legs are going to stay longer through now 90 minutes than his will, you know, to where in that case, you know, you bring him in a game in the, you know, somewhere between 55 and 70 minutes. or 55 and 70. Where he can come in and his energy can be up and he can go after everything and just get stuck in. I think next season, especially if Souček stays healthy, crazy come to West Ham and finally get injured for his career, shocker. But I think that's Souček's position next year, next to Rice, if Rice is still here with us.
Well, yeah, we'll get onto that a little bit later, whether he will be or not.
Yeah, hopefully he'll stay.
Yeah. Where do you see Lanzini playing now? Let's start with that. Sorry,
I don't.
Yeah, I don't. Can't see him getting back in the team, can he?
No, I think he's a bench player now too. Maybe somebody you start in the cup games. I think he'll have the quality for that. I mean, it's a shame too because he was great when we first got him.
He was a good player,
and then and then not to give the injury the excuse, but he definitely was a different player after that. I don't know if he was playing scared to whatever happened in training to cause that injury. I don't know, but whatever happened, it took the old 2015-16 Lanzini with him.
Yeah, I think he's 27. He should be coming into the peak time of his career, shouldn't he? Like we should be seeing the best results.
Yeah.
We don't see him getting in the team. Yeah. What do you think, Ant?
I mean, Lanzini, I said this since a long time ago. I mean, Lanzini has his time up. He got injured. I feel that he actually is scared of going back to play. I guess that, you're a player, so you're actually eventually scared of it. You're making money out of it. But Lanzini, I don't see him much more for playing for us, might go back home and start playing for a team over there, but not for us. I don't think so.
Yeah, it's a shame because he has had a good spell for us, and especially the time when he was Pyatt. He's some unbelievable skill. Some of it was taking a mick out of some teams. It was really crazy. But are we going to get the money for him if we need to get rid of him in the summer?
No, the truth is when he was linked to Liverpool, that's when the big money was going to happen. When it was and that's when we saw it leaving as well. Because I mentioned it, I think probably on this show actually a couple of weeks ago or whatever. But yes, when he was getting those links, it was like the Winston Reid thing. Winston Reid was getting linked to Arsenal and all these big moves, and I was like, he's definitely going, he deserves it, he's going to go and he's going to kill it. Then he kept getting these injuries, and it just killed his career and his momentum. And it's sort of the same with Lanzini. The thing is about how West Ham is run, our owners love a good attacking player, and so we just front load it and have so flipping many that we could put all of our attacking players physically possible on the pitch, and he still might not get in because we just have so bloody many. So when you get a couple of them playing in form like we do right now, and a defensive kind of manager that we have, there's just not space for him, unfortunately. So the big money just won't come. The big money would have come when Liverpool were interesting, but now he's never going to top that ever. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And so is it worth selling him then, or keep him as a bench player, which is crazy to say?
I think you keep him. Like everybody was saying, he did sign the extension, so it's not as if he's just walking out the door at the end of the season, anyways. But I do think that maybe him coming off the bench could be a good thing for him. Because I don't think that all the skill that he possesses has just kind of disappeared. It is unfortunate that he has been a ghost in a lot of games that he's played. But at the same time, I think if knock on all the wood around me, if like a Fornals were to go down or a Bowen or somebody, there's not too many other people on the bench right now that outside of maybe Anderson that you'd want to bring in ahead of him, as far as he doesn't really defend that great, but he is a pacey player, does have some skill on the ball. He can provide you some things that maybe a Snodgrass can't, or a Masuaku or whatever the case may be, but I don't think we have to totally get rid of him. I just don't see him in the starting 11.
Yeah. So, and again, Anderson didn't start for us. Where does that leave him at the moment?
It's the same thing, isn't it? There's just not enough space for everyone. And the thing is like a lot of people would make the argument between him and say Antonio starting. I think everyone wanted to see Bowen start, but then it was either do you want Antonio or Haller up front, or do you want Antonio or Anderson on the left? That was sort of the conversation that was being had. Having players like Lanzini and Anderson on the bench is super useful because it's like game changers, right? If you need to change the game, you have people who can do that. Not Lanzini right now. He'd bring on any change it probably in a negative way, but it's just having these people on the bench is super useful. Anderson is one of those people who I don't think if he had started we'd been as good, not because he's worse than Antonio, because he's even less effective. He's just a different type of player. Like they might play the exact same role, but Antonio runs for it. He goes straight for goal. When he gets the ball, he is progressing as far as he can and he's going for goal. Whereas Anderson tries to play other people through, which is great. And don't get me wrong, I love an assist from Anderson. He's a bit like Fornals and he has that ability to see the pass, but Haller was playing that role. He was the guy to drag it away and play the other two in. If Anderson was starting, it wouldn't have been as balanced as that. So in a different game, yes, but maybe with a different forward. But with Haller, I don't really see, unless it's like a literal front two, like we played when we played Liverpool away, that formation, maybe then you see Anderson and Haller together. But in any other situation, no, I can't see it happening right now.
I mean, because one thing, I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Because one thing that I see about Antonio is that he doesn't know what to do at the end. So Haller, if you see the last game, he searched the ball. He actually was trying to go ahead and see what he can do with the ball. And that goal that he did was, to me, was good. I mean, it actually catched up with whatever he didn't do in the previous games. I know it's just one game, but it's boosting up our boys up, making all those goals. And I guess that at this point, I mean, having Bowen too, it's amazing. I mean, that guy is the right guy to go ahead and do this right now.
Yeah, I think it's partially a good problem to have, with all these players. And the crazy thing is, outside of Lanzini and Anderson, what happens when Yarmolenko is fit? Because he's not a bad player either. He just happens to get hurt a lot. But I think as far as a good problem to have, if you have to sub somebody in, you're subbing in for another quality player. You're not necessarily subbing somebody in that is going to have an obvious step back. Specifically speaking for Anderson. Because I know there was a last season, first season here, it took him a minute to get adjusted, and then he nutmegged the entire league, and ended up going through for about like 8 or some odd goals. But he can be that flair player, to if you bring him on after halftime, get a couple, I don't know, crossovers or just whatever the case may be, and just fire the team up, with his skill, because I'm sure people get excited to see that. Just as Charlie was saying, an Anderson assist is pretty quality stuff to see. So, he does have that ability, and it is unfortunate that he doesn't start, because I would love to see him in preseason. He was killing it too, but at the same time, at the point in the season that we're at, in the position that we're in, you have to play the people that are going to produce every day. And if that's not him, then if he can only give you 30 quality minutes, then hey, that's his role right now.
It's a bit like I mentioned. I made a very stupid analogy in the last show, in the last Monday, about sausages and steaks, and it was stupid. But go back and watch it, because I'm a genius. But I made this really stupid analogy, right? About sometimes you need sausages and sometimes you want steaks. It's just a thing you do. I don't think in that game specifically, Anderson was the right one to need. I think you wanted Antonio, you wanted the guy running in behind, and also you look at their fullbacks and you think probably they're a bit weak. You can get at those. But I think maybe against another team. Now, I'm not suggesting we start this in the next game. I don't even know what game off the top of my head. But it could be a meat situation where you go, actually, maybe I play Anderson, maybe I play Ajeti with him, because Ajeti might have that forward-thinking runs that Haller doesn't have, and it's something where maybe having that extra playmaker would be useful. But if it's not, I don't know what game you play that in. It's maybe that's something where he's more useful. But I don't know if you can do it with Haller, just because he doesn't have the forward-thinking runs that Antonio and Bowen have.
Yeah, I think too, just kind of piggybacking on that, kind of looking at the academy as well. I'm sure obviously not everybody that's on the team sheet now is going to be here at the start of next season. But when you look at players that we can bring in within ourselves, you have Ben Johnson, who's recovering from his injury, and as Neil said, he played 90 minutes with the U23s. You have Silva came back from his injury, and all he's doing is scoring goals. I'm sure the way that we are will probably loan him out, which I don't want to see. And then Nathan Holland, same thing. And then I think somebody who can come in and play a good backup role for keeper is Nathan Trott. Nathan Trott has been pretty solid in the championship Division 1, League 1. Sorry. I know that's obviously a couple leagues down, but stopping the ball in any division is still stopping the ball. So I think it's maybe the academy can come back, but spoiler alert to everybody.
Yeah, sorry.
No, that's funny to the conversation we had before the stream went live. That's awesome. But yeah, no, and I think with Anderson, you get used to seeing these players produce and producing at quality levels. With him and Lanzini, to when they're not and somebody else is taking their spot, it's like, okay, well, now they're going to leave, which in today's football, easy to happen. But at the same time, like I was saying earlier, it's not a bad person to have on the bench either. But yeah.
What happens when Dean Garner comes back? Where does he?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy,
So
think about that.
Yeah,
also, Charlie, I think you should change your name because let's be honest, Hugo is not a steak, is he? He's definitely a big sausage.
Listen, okay, he's prime cut. He's Wagyu beef, mate. My man is the primest. Like, you're thinking the best bred cow. He's not even a steak. He's the whole thing. He's the cow. He's the cow. He's providing the steaks for everyone else. He's a beautiful man, and he's coming back. It doesn't matter whether he's a sausage or a steak. My man fits in all situations.
Steak wrapped in bacon.
Oh, beautiful time to be alive. He's a beautiful. Yeah, there we go. He's a beautiful man. I'm never changing it. He's a lovely man. He's lovely. Don't at me. I don't care what you say.
So with that, let's just before we talk about next season, because I do want to talk a bit about that. There's a few things coming up ahead of the Arsenal game next, which as it says here from David Moyes. Let me just try and zoom in a little bit. There's no further injuries to cope for apart from Fredericks, Masucek, which how long is Fredericks out for? Is he out for a long time?
I'm not sure.
I'm not too sure. I know we've got another 2 weeks with Suchek.
It probably says a lot. It probably says a lot that no one really even thinks about how long Fredericks is going to be out for.
Yeah.
It's kind of like we ain't going to miss him. So that's kind of good news for the manager that he hasn't got any serious injuries to worry about. What's your views? Do you reckon we can, Anthony, let's start with you. Do you reckon we can take Arsenal?
It's going to be tough. I mean, not impossible. And especially with the boost that we actually have. I don't see it. I mean, I want to speak with the heart that we're going to go ahead and win it. It's going to be tough, but we might. If Moyes actually has balls and starts playing the guys that we actually need to go ahead and play at the right moment, then it's possible. I mean, I don't see it impossible. I mean, every team, look at Liverpool, who ended up beating Liverpool. I mean, it's just a question of who's going to go ahead and be picked at the right time. Like Pierre was saying.
Yeah. We were as we were discussing on last night's show. It's really interesting because Arsenal only have one more win than we do, but they also have 13 draws, which is where a lot of their points come from. But on the same note, on the opposite side of that coin, they are in pretty good form right now. They've had a couple of unfortunate results. I know they played Portsmouth tonight. Last time I saw it, they were up 2-0. So I guess they're not necessarily on that bye week that I thought that they were when I was talking about them yesterday. But they did play a lot of their kids, I believe. So I know a lot of their starters will be rested. I don't know. London derbies, I mean, anything could happen in the London derby. We could go in there and we could beat them 4-0. We could go in there, score 1 and then lose 3-1, just like the last time we played them. So I don't know. I think it'll be smart for Moyes to play the same exact starting 11 because that starting 11 is flying high. The away support is going to be there and be loud. They just got to have confidence. 8 wins, 13 draws, and 6 defeats, which is insane to be sitting at 10th in the table with only 8 wins. But they don't have any losses in their last 5, so it's going to be tough. Any away match in this league is tough. But if we come away with the point, I'll be happy, honestly. But we need something because we need to stay away from that bottom 3.
Charlie,
being a North London boy, my gut reaction is we're going to fucking whap them. But I think in reality, it's a difficult one. It's not the worst time in the world to face them. They're not super confident. They're not playing with mad confidence right now. And I do think they are there to be got at. And I have confidence if we played the right setup, then we could get at them. But it's just how well can we defend against them. Playing our now deeper system, we don't have that suicidal high line. Aubameyang won't be as useful as he would have been against that. But I don't know. I would take a draw at this point. I'd be very happy with the draw. It's one of those games where
nice.
I don't want to write it off too early, but if we got a draw, I'd be very happy from it at this stage.
Yeah, I'd totally agree. A draw would be a brilliant result. Anything more, Brucey bonus.
I'll take any points you can get away from the London Stadium.
I think we can do it. I feel confident. After the last 2 games of watching them, and seeing how the team have performed, as long as we keep the tactics pretty similar, maybe throw in a couple of spanners to keep the other teams on their toes. I can see us picking up a few points against these big teams that we've got coming up next few games. And we only have to nick a couple of draws here and there, and we'll probably find ourselves sneaking away from them bottom 3. All of a sudden, which would be fantastic. I kind of feel like we are going to stay up now. I don't feel like you asked me 2 weeks ago, or even when Pellegrini was still here. I thought, there's a good chance of we're going to go down, and now I feel like the buzz is back. So with that, the question for you guys: do you think David Moyes should get next season? So we start from the top. Charlie, what do you reckon? Should he still be here next season?
I was low-key hoping you'd say start from the bottom. Honestly, I think genuinely the real answer is I think it's too soon to tell, and I would guess at the end of the season, depending on what happens. I'm not even talking about relegation. I'm talking about how he deals with the matches coming up. But that's a non-answer, and I'm determined to give you an answer. So I would say no, because I feel like there is a manager better suited to the players we currently have than David Moyes, and I feel like if giving him extra windows means that we get further away from what we ultimately all want as a club. The real answer, again, wait till the end of the season. He might prove me wrong. If we can continue this form, if we continue doing the right things, then I'd be probably at the end of the season be like, do you know what? Give it him. Give it him. Give it him till the end of the season. But I don't want to give a non-answer. So my answer currently is no.
Yeah. Anthony, what's your
my guess would be, Moyes came in a really bad situation for us. I know that he managed the team before, but new players, he hasn't had the time to go ahead and, guess that he didn't have the time to go ahead and figure out everything that was left behind. But I think that it's true. It depends on how we end this season, and after that, just end up sacking him. But I don't feel that we do have bad people playing for us. So just have the balls to go ahead and play. Like with Bowen, what's up with Bowen? He ended up playing Bowen, and look what turned up. He did great on the last game. So you just have to have the balls. If you're gonna lose, just go ahead and lose everything. Go ahead and just go straight up. And I guess going back to the question, we're gonna have a better manager. We could have a better manager.
Yeah. I think there is a manager definitely sitting on his couch right now that used to coach one Sebastian Allaire that we could definitely go out and get. I don't know how this man doesn't have a job, because I mean, all he's done is produce the clubs that he's managed at. Kovac, if anybody's curious what I'm talking about, Sebastian Allaire's manager when he was at in Germany. But it's one of those things too where he's young. He plays a very sexy style of football. I mean, we saw the highlights of Sebastian, when we picked him up. And oh, man, this is going to be brilliant coming to West Ham. Well, if we get the manager that played that system, because he's got another player that he managed that's now at Real Madrid, so he's able to produce young talent, or to coach up young talent, I should say. So if we had to go out and get anybody, that would be my number one pick. And I would call him. I'm not putting the phone down until we reach the terms, whatever. Even if he gets lost on the subway, hey, we'll find you, we'll send the search out. But I don't know. I think Moyes, in my heart of hearts, Moyes will be the coach if we stay up, because that's just what the board do, right? But if the board want to show that they are listening and that they care, it's not him. It's not Moyes, I mean, he's a good dude, whatever, nice. Thanks for keeping us up, a couple of years ago. Thanks for keeping us up this year. But no, man, I don't. Absolutely not. Yeah, Kovac should be the one that I would want to go for. As far as bringing players in, I'm not sure who I'd go after, especially with the talent that we have in our academy system, whether they're on loan or in our own system still. Bring some of those guys up, maybe boost up. Well, I don't know. I would definitely get on a rant if I think too hard about it. But, just see what the youngsters can do. Bring the academy back.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that in a second. For me, I see it from two different views. So I see it from Ray, the fan, who totally agrees with you, say, about, getting Haller's ex-manager in, trying to implement him into the football of the Premiership and the team are in. But the other side of me is worried, because he's going to be starting a season afresh. He's going to have 6 months less experience with the team. So is he then going to start the first half of the season working out his formation and working out his team? And, is it going to be a slow hog? Well, it might be a case that it might not be. It might be just like a runaway would be like in the top four. And that's always something to think about. Or, as an employer myself, you've got this guy in a position. He's got another 18 months, a year on his contract. He's worked out what his tactics need to be. He's going to keep us up. I would then give him the rest of that time to say, right, well, this is your chance to earn a new contract with us, and to win the fans over, and to do all that kind of stuff. Because next season, he's worked out his team. He knows he needs to add players in certain areas and get rid of certain players, where the new manager won't have that idea. So, for me, if he keeps us up, I think we have to keep Moyes, which I know a lot of people might not agree with.
Well, there's also the idea that I think Darren brought it up in the chat, the idea of who would come in. Because the thing is I quite like the idea of Kovac as well. I'm not even going to act like I don't, because I do. And not even just because of Haller. I just like the idea of bringing him in on a style basis, on an experience basis. I like it. It's nice. But ultimately, we don't know what like you say, I don't know what the support is going to be for a manager, in the sense of from the higher ups. How are they going to support him? What's the system going to be like for transfers? Is there going to be a new director of football? Blah, 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 blah. But then also, what situation are they going to be in? Are they going to be down a dark alleyway about to get got, or are people going to be supportive of them if we finish well? What's the support going to be like from the fan base? Because if it's a situation where everyone is very much against them, are they going to be? Is a manager going to look at it and go, those are some people I want to work for? Because it might end up being a situation where we can only keep Moyes and we don't have another option, which is kind of crap, but
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. And I think kind of going off of what both you guys were saying, this summer, everything that the owners do, if they stay, which I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't, because there's too much money for them to walk away from. But everything that they do is going to be watched. Whether they're signing somebody as a player, sending people on loans, recalling players, whatever. Everything's going to be scrutinized. So people are going to love it or they're going to hate it. There's not really going to be a middle ground. And I'm sure that's what every show that we do over the summer is going to be about. Oh, they did this, the board did that, whatever. But at the same time with Ray, I agree with you too. Or people know the system already. They'll have a whole summer to work on it. And I think if we were to bring in Kovac, we should have already done it. We should have already brought him in when we brought in Moyes. So that way, as you were saying, he can implement his tactics and the players will get to know him as well. So it is weird. It is kind of a catch-22, to where like I would love to see somebody different, but at the same time, change isn't always good, but at the end of the day, I think it's just down to the players to want to perform.
Yeah.
Oh, we got someone else in this chat. Who's hiding down there? Sorry, I didn't even see him in there.
Oh, you can just kick him straight back out. That's fine.
Oh, there he is.
Wow,
That's the
Hello.
Oh, bless him.
Yeah, man.
Tim, what's happened to you? What were you trying to smash? What's going on here? What's happened?
I wanked a little too hard. I pulled out my shoulder.
Watching the Bowen highlights.
He got too excited over Bowen's goal, didn't he?
Yeah, pretty much.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, we just got asked for fist pumping, Tim.
Oh, yeah.
Where's yours?
I don't know how I'm going to pull this off, but I just wanted to pop in because show must go on. And listen, I feel like you guys are doing an awesome job without me, and I'm pretty upset about that. But
well, Tim, I've got one question for you, and that's how do you feel about the Street Profits becoming Raw Tag Team Champions tonight? I mean, we're all dying to know your opinion.
I don't have an opinion on that, but I do have an opinion on Brock losing. I just don't buy it.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree with you. I agree with you.
yeah. Brock doesn't lose. So, but anyway, continue on. Carry on.
Just a question for you now, Tim, because we've all
Sure.
answered it. What do you think of that? Do you think of Moyes staying, giving him an extra year because of what he's doing so far? And if he carries on doing it, he's Shan, or do we roll the dice again and get a new manager, a young, exciting European manager?
They will back the manager and they will extend his contract. I wouldn't, but I don't know. I mean, I'm torn. You're supposed to back the manager first and foremost, but secondly, if he continues to win, that's one thing. Then maybe we should give him time and see if he can rebuild this. But I expect them to extend his contract, which every time they do that, that means they're going to get rid of somebody. They did it with how do I put it? They did it with Tompkins. They extended Lanzini. They extended Masuaku. Those are two players right there that I see out the door as well. So I don't know, but I don't want him personally. I didn't want him back in to begin with, and I don't want him around. So
the other thing with having him gone, does that worry us for the young talent that is coming through? Because a new manager might not see Diangana playing in the championship, doing really well, coming back to us.
yeah.
Even Diangana, who played really well for West Brom, he might not even get in our starting lineup because Bowen's
He
going to
wouldn't
be
get
there.
in my starting lineup either. He wouldn't get in my starting lineup either. He didn't do anything for us. He's done very well for West.
Too young.
He's done very well for West Brom. Well, there you go. But he hasn't done very well for us. He was a dud last year, man.
Well, super sub. I think he played really well last year. To be fair, for
Okay. Maybe it's the drugs. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like the verb. That doesn't work.
Yeah. No. No. Listen. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's the board's decision. That's what it appears to be. Regardless, when it comes down to youth, it doesn't seem like it's the manager's decision at all. Anyway, whether they want to bring people up or not, it always seems to be the board's decision. I mean, when's the last time we saw, solid youth, well, with the exception of Declan Rice, but I mean, like, homegrown, not Chelsea Academy, we stole from there. I'm talking like West Ham Academy through and through. When's the last time we saw people like that come through?
It's been said today he had a trial for Chelsea. You're talking about the right back and Ghazi.
Ngakia, bro.
Oh,
Ngakia.
N. Say it. N.
Ghazi.
Key. No. And got key.
We'll practice off there.
Okay, all right. Well, he came from what, Chelsea's Academy?
No, he had a trial. He didn't actually join Chelsea's Academy. And he joined us when he was 13, I believe.
Okay.
I mean, we could say Ben Johnson too. I mean, I know he hasn't played consistently, but
correct. I mean, overall,
I agree with what you're saying, Tim, because I think it kind of sucks. But I also just think it's just the way the club is funded. Like, clearly they don't put as much money as they do into the lower league, like the lower levels of youth football that Chelsea will. And it's been very clear for like the last 5 years or so since we moved to the stadium. It's been crystal clear. The season before that was crystal clear. We're looking at the big teams, and anyone who doesn't make those academies, we're going, yeah, we'll have them, we'll have them, we'll have them. Because you've got Ashley Fletcher, you've got Martin Samuelson, you've got Declan Rice, you can include in that, let's say Ngakia, just for the sake of argument. But then you've also got what's the guy who is everyone's Tony Martinez. There's like loads of examples of us looking at these big clubs who do fund those levels of youth football and going, whenever they're not looking to get out or they're not happy, what's his name? Keena. Because Keena's another example. It's just what we do. We've got Zhu and we've got the other Portuguese lad in our youth team at the moment, the exact same things. Because
I'm not saying that we haven't brought people up. I'm just saying the numbers aren't there since we've had this current regime. Like over the last 10 years, it hasn't been as much as it was in the the 90s and the 80s and so on. Bring up homegrown talent, so that needs to change. I don't think it has anything to do with the manager. We could have anybody. I mean, I
think Brown was close, but then he just had a total shit attitude about it.
Did you guys see that Real Betis is going after Bielsa?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, they're trying to get him. My point is, like, that's the type of guy that I'd rather have him than a Moyes. I'd rather go after someone like that, someone who has a that's a winner. You know what I mean? Not like a Pellegrini, obviously, because he hasn't won with shit talent before. But it doesn't matter if Moyes says he's going to focus on the youth. I don't buy it. I don't think it's his decision. I don't think it's anyone's decision. I want someone who's going to come in and win games, even though Moyes claims himself to be a winner. It doesn't matter to me. I want someone who actually does put the results on the table. That's all I care about. And we need to change the regime before we see youth players coming in on a regular basis. The way you want to see it, Ray. The way you want to see it, Anthony. The way you want to see it, Sully and Charlie. I mean, that's the way I want to see it. It's going to be a while before that happens, no matter who the manager is.
Yeah.
No?
Yeah. So moving on from this, for transfers next season, I was going to talk to Charlie off air about this, but we said we're going to hold it to this game. Has our transfer targets for next season going to change now because of everyone was saying we should get a new right back? Is that a case that we don't now need a right back? Charlie, what did you reckon? You was going to talk about this.
The thing is I don't think we need it changes the right back we need, is my opinion on the matter. I think in reality, I think we still probably need a right back because A, Zabaletta's going and B, Fredericks is trash. So I think we need a different one, because I think before, whereas we would look for the most sturdy, trustworthy first choice right back we could find, I think I'm not putting all my faith in Ngakia, because I think with youth players, my opinion is when they first come in, they play very highly, and then they slowly sort of dip back down to where they're at. And Ngakia, I think, will slowly maybe dip slightly from performances before we see his true potential, right? But we need to be looking at someone who can bring him on. If this was Zabaleta 3 years ago, it'd be perfect to have Zabaleta. But unfortunately, it's just not the case anymore. So it changes who we're going to get. I still think we should go out and get a right back to replace Fredericks. I don't think we will, to be clear, because we need more forwards, guys. But I do think it does change slightly who we need to get as opposed to what position, if that makes sense.
Sally, what do you reckon?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. I think the rest of the season is kind of a trial period for every spot. I think with the exception of keeper, because you could argue that we can go out and get somebody at any position. Especially if we sell players, because I know you're just talking about right back, Charlie, but at the same time, let's say if we sell Declan Rice, okay, well, we'll have Suchek, but as we were just saying earlier, we can't expect Marnova to play every game, so we're going to have to focus on that position. I still think we need a legitimate strike partner that's the striker with Allaire, not taking anything away from Antonio, but I don't think he's a pure striker,
Correct.
and it does kind of suck too for Ajeti because I think he just really hasn't been, given a chance. And he could be that guy. I don't know. Hey, you could even recall Big George. Who knows at that
Yeah,
point?
boy.
But no, but no, and like I said earlier too, it could be Silva. I do agree. I think kind of like you get the manager bump. You the youth will kind of there will be a dip, and then you'll find out what they're made of after that little dip in form. But at the same time, I don't know. I think just the rest of the season, we'll come to see. Because hopefully no more injuries. Hopefully, probably not going to happen, but I don't know. We'll see what happens.
Sam, what do you reckon?
I reckon that Ben Johnson's good. I reckon that Ngaki is just fine, but I don't think that they're going to be able to do it themselves. I think Fredericks is a waste of space. I cannot wait to see the backside of his ass, and he'll probably go to Spuds because he's a cunt like that. But what is it? That's where he belongs. Anyway, yeah, we need a solid right back, like a proven right back, 100%. And then that will help the development of Ngakia. I don't want Ngakia to go on loan next season. I want him to stay with the club, be our number 2. And Ben Johnson he's too fucking injured all the time, right? I mean, where the hell is he? Like, what's up with that?
He played last night. Played 90 minutes for the U23s.
Okay. Well,
he's
right.
been back for a while. I do see what you're saying though, but he has been back for a bit.
But you said something silly about not needing a goalkeeper. Are you what?
Well, you don't like Fabianski?
What? Well, excuse me. Hold on. We definitely need a backup
goalkeeper.
No.
Okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, definitely need a backup goalkeeper.
Not just backup though, but someone to give Fabianski a run for his money. Because with that hip injury, I'll say it a million times. I've said it on the show a million times. That's a horrible injury for someone over 30 to have, especially goalkeeper. A hip injury, you lose a lot. It's kind of like a like Lanzini tearing his ACL. You know what I mean? He's never going to have that step. He's going to lose a step or two. So he's not going to be the same goalkeeper Fabianski was. So we need to start looking for the future sooner rather than later. He's not. I mean, I'm not saying Fabianski's bad. I'm saying yes, he's got another few years in him, but not 38 games anymore.
No, I mean, you do bring a good point. Yeah, for sure.
And Dave Martin, man. I mean, love him to death as a person, but son of a gun, he's not that guy. And now there's Randolph. So anyway, I think goalkeeper is definitely a position we need. Striker, poor Yeti, man. I mean, Jetty, whatever. I don't think he's the right size to be a striker in this league. I mean, I don't think he's got what it is. I don't think he's got what it takes to be. He hasn't earned the spot yet. Anyway, with 2 different managers, he hasn't earned a chance. I just don't see how he'll fit in our squad. He might be great if we were to go down, but I don't think we're going down. So who else is there? So other than that, left back is 100%. We need a left back. We need a left back. 100%. That's one of our major. We need a left back more than the right back. To tell you that much. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Pass it over to Anthony because he's gonna fall asleep.
No. I mean, listen, because I mean, at this point, I don't really know. I mean, like you guys were saying, I mean, we should go ahead and start seeing boys from the academy because I mean, we're not going to end up spending money on them. I mean, the board doesn't want to spend money. They want to go ahead and grab it all that they can. And, I mean, yeah, a Jetty, like I said before, I mean, a Jetty doesn't, it's not fit. Haller needs to partner. Who else? We're talking about Lanzini. Okay, he's okay and everything, but I mean, we can't. We need more people. I mean, we need more boys to go ahead and start playing the same type of football that we used to play back in the days. I mean, it's not possible. I mean, we need to go ahead and start doing something new. We cannot stay with what we have. We have right people, but we're not playing it at this moment that it needs to be.
I'm just curious as to what Moyes' targets are going to be in the summer. Like, what the hell kind of players he has in mind? Is it the same type of people that he was signing over at Sunderland, or is it the same type of people he was going after at Everton? You know what I mean? Like, what's his transfer style going to be? Because we didn't really see that this summer. Because rumor has it that Bowen wasn't even his guy. You know what I mean? It was the board. So I'm curious, very curious. What do you guys up top think?
Well, for me, I see the biggest issue is we need to look at our defence and our keeper. I personally put this in order: is we need a left back, a good solid left back, a centre back, and then a goalkeeper, and that's our three key areas that I personally would focus on for next season.
Yeah. Hashtag recalled hashtag re-signed Big Tonks.
Well, I've got a couple of ideas for next season who I would like to see in our centre back role, and that it all depends on who goes down next season because they both are in the same position. So Aki from Bournemouth or Mings from Aston Villa, any of them, because they both play on that side. I would like to see one of them come in, and that means we will have to sell one of our centre backs.
Yeah.
I think the best person for us to sell would be O'Bonnor because his stock is really high at the moment, and I can't see it getting any higher personally. Once the
you also have to look at it and say what's his high stock versus what's Diop's. I mean, like realistically, what price do we get for Ogbonna? But then what price do we get for Diop? Because if you sell Diop, and I'm not saying we should, it's more just a devil's advocate type thing. If you sell Diop, you get at the low end, you get 40 million. At the high end, you get 60, 70, 75. Whereas Ogbonna, what's the range? It's probably what
12,
between 5 to 12. Yeah, it's not like a huge range. So if you're looking to say get Aki or Mings, who I think they're both great shouts. I love both of them. I really like the idea of Ings next to Diop in my head. Oh, hello, big boys doing big things. I like that a lot. I don't think you can afford him. Like by getting rid of Ogbonna, wages wise you could, but I don't think money wise you could. And if we're not having that much to spend in the summer, which I don't know, but knowing our board, we probably don't. I don't know how easy it would be to get him in because you look at both of those people specifically. If we're using those as examples, big teams would be after them as well as us, And I'm not just talking. I'm not just talking about City or whatever. I'm talking about someone like Arsenal if they want to get in a centre back. Oh look, Tyrone Mings, here's Nathan Ake. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you think it would help or hurt being able to sell Ogbonna if he is named Hammer of the Year? Because if he's named Hammer of the Year, do you think it'd be harder to sell him? Not necessarily to a team, but do you think you get like a backlash from the fans for that? Or
didn't that happen with Scott Parker? Didn't he win Hammer of the Year and we sold?
But we went down.
Yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
don't count your chickens.
It's different going down winning PFA Player of the Year than it is going down in Angelo Ogbonna.
And I agree too with what Charlie was saying. I think you definitely get a bigger return for Diop, especially if you catch a team that's desperate, that's willing to overpay. I don't know if there's a such thing as overpaying for a player with a high upside.
Yeah.
Because last year, Diop would have been worth every bit of 70 million pounds. And now, I mean, I think getting 70 million for him is like, hey, take him,
seriously.
And I think, there is a chance, we could get well over 100 million pounds just on two players, those being Diop and Rice. I would hate to see them both go in the same window, but at the same time, you could do a lot with just only getting rid of two pieces.
You could restructure the whole club. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, exactly. 100%. So I think, it's a weird position to be in, but at the same time, it's not a bad one to be in because you don't want to give away all your pieces just to improve a couple of positions.
I just want to say one last thing on the whole goalkeeper thing too, and it's just a simple statement: is that not having the proper backup for Fabianski is what put us in this position.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
I don't think Randolph is much better than fucking Mike. He's better than Roberto, fine, but he's not much better than Roberto in my eyes, and he never was. Listen, dude. Listen, what, dude? 4-1 or 4? What was it? Leicester City. Like, come on, dude. Against their B squad, man. Come on, get the fuck. He looks like he looks like he's got the AIDS or something. He's lost so much weight. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, but it's not you can blame every goal that went in on him. The whole team played like trash.
I always do. Fuck
Look,
that.
let's be
No,
real.
goalkeeper's got one job to do, and that's keep the ball out of the net.
Roberto couldn't catch a cab outside a train station. My man was perhaps one of the. And listen, I supported him. I said it on here. I said it on here so many times. I supported him until the death. I really did because I wanted him to be good. But my man was trash.
I picked Roberto for Hammer of the Year. Before the season started, I said Fabianski was going to get hurt early on, and that Roberto was going to win Hammer of the Year. And
dang, what a take!
Son of a bitch. Well, I was half right. Fabianski got hurt. But,
yeah.
That's what happens when you sell your soul to the devil, I guess. But you only get half what you asked for.
Man. It's the neck tattoos.
Oh yeah. Anyway, so yeah, that was just a statement saying that we really need to focus on a better backup for him because we can't afford that to happen to us next year. You know what I mean? I don't think Dave Martin or Randolph are the guy. So.
Would you be comfortable? And this is definitely just a question for conversation's sake. Would you be comfortable if that backup was Nathan Trott, or would you rather see somebody who's kind of proven it? Who might not be our starter, but could fill in that role. Need be.
Give the youth a chance, man. I'd give him a chance. I wouldn't give him the chance. I wouldn't have given him a chance this season. But give him a full summer training with the club.
Just a quick question: do you guys think that West Ham, in the position that they are in now, can go to any of the Italian teams and pick out any of their goalkeepers?
I'm sure you could. Yeah, I mean, you talking about like Serie A or just like in Italy? Period.
Serie A.
You stop going.
One keeper I would like to see in the Premiership. I've only seen a few games, and that's I can't pronounce his name. It's really long, but it starts beginning with D.
Donnarumma.
Yeah, Donnarumma. I would like to see him, but I don't know if we would be.
What was that?
Who's did he play for?
Donnarumma. AC Milan.
Donnarumma?
Oh, okay.
No, he's great. He's also super young. He's like 21, 22 at this point. Pushing to be Italy's number one consistently. I mean, he's had a worse season this season than he has had previously. But I mean, worse season by his standards is still a very, very good season. Obviously, the thing is, it's when you look at someone like that, I think he's just destined to such big things. I think money-wise, we could attract players like that. Although AC Milan were very cash-rich, sort of vaguely recently. Outside of what Juventus, you could probably roll over and get them money-wise, and I think that's the reason we have Haller is because of the money. But there you go, Donnarumma. See, look, sometimes I know things. It's very rare, but I'm taking this one. But other clubs, you look at, say. The difference is can you convince a player who's playing for, say, maybe not even AC Milan, if you're looking at, say, Napoli, if you're looking at Lazio, people like that, can you convince them to come to a club who recently was in a super relegation battle? Or can you, do you know what I mean? Money-wise, we can, but I don't know if the club is an attractive prospect.
Well, it would be nice. I agree. Listen, we need to have. We just need to make sure that our one scout's checking them out. Like we need a fucking scouting team. We could probably pick off anybody around the fucking world. Premier League itself is such a massive, massive piece of attraction. You know what I'm saying? Like anyone would want to play the Premier League. We could pretty much have anybody we want. It's just a matter of we gotta have people to talk to these people. We don't have scouts, man.
How many people do we have at scouts?
Like one. If that.
Get him out there. Give him an all-expenses paid trip to Milan. Let's go, boys. I'll go over and go, listen, you're looking for a Gianluigi. See if you can find him.
Well,
I'll come looking like, listen, I'll come in my sling and I'll say, listen, if you don't fucking sign the dotted line, these four guys right here, these four animals will fuck you up, man. You better sign that contract or this will happen to you.
Well, the other thing that I like about him, it looks like that Milan probably won't get into Europe this season. To the table there.
Yeah.
There might be on the outside. So all he's been playing for is the league. So, going to England, playing for West Ham for one season, showing what he can do in the Premiership, he'll probably get a top four from Germany, from the Premiership, come in and try and poach him afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, because you think about it too, Premier League, if you're, let's say solely on, I guess, save percentage, if that's a trackable thing in the Premier League, if he's top 5 in the Premier League, anybody could come and knocking for him, because you think about what the conversation for keepers he'd be, in conversation with the Allisons, the De Geas, the Edersons, Lloris and all that. Especially with him being 21, we could, even be able to keep him for a couple seasons, make him prove it. All right, cool, come with us, show what you're worth for a season or two, and then we'll sell you whatever, and who knows, he could love it at West Ham and want to stay, but yeah, I mean, and like you were saying, Tim, the Premier League itself is its own selling factor. Not that Serie A is a bad league, but at the same time, it's well, no. I mean, I in my honest opinion, I think as far as toughness up and down, Serie A is probably second to the Premier League in the world, and 100%. Because I mean, you look at that, AC Milan is 7th in the table, and you can recognize a lot of those other teams. You look at the Bundesliga, 2-3 teams max. Same thing in Spain, 2-3 teams max.
La Liga is probably
La Liga, and that's such it's a 3-horse race every year. The only fight, really, honestly, is for the last Champions League spot. But
you're not wrong. But we're a 1-horse race right now.
No, fair, but that's not going to happen every season, though.
I don't disagree, but then you look, Arsenal are 10th. I mean, like, all these other teams are dropping down.
I'm just saying that's a competitiveness, though.
Every single other team in the league are beating the shit out of each other. It's
how many other leagues you're going to get where you can have a story like Leicester? It's just not going to happen. I mean, granted, nobody thought it would happen in the Premier League, but I think of all the leagues that it could happen in, this would be the one to do it, because every week, as we just saw with Liverpool against Watford, Liverpool against us. You gotta go after it, because you got a target on your back no matter who you are. Whether you're the Liverpool who's at the way top, or you're West Ham. People just don't like you just because of history. I mean, look at Leeds. Leeds is going to get promoted, and everybody's going to come after them because of the history that they bring to the league. So it's definitely a dogfight, and I know not everybody across the world recognizes every team in the Premier League, but I guarantee you people recognize more team in the Premier League than they will in any other league. So it's just marketable, and it's tough, man. You earn your money in this league.
Well, just think of it.
That's the thing too, the money.
That's an extra £12 with just his name on it, every shirt in it.
Great point. He has got a very, very long. I remember when Man United had that youth player Cameron Borthwick-Jackson, and he had Borthwick-Jackson on the back of it, and I was like, "You are making a killing right now." That name was like a full semicircle. It was great.
Yeah, it's like Aubameyang at Arsenal.
Yeah. Right, guys. What about this boy? What do we expect to see of him next season, if anything?
What a black and white picture that is. Looks like
fun fact, that was the last time he played football. It was in black and white. How long ago it was?
Sell him, man, for whatever you can get him for. Get rid of him.
Yeah. He's not going to play.
Do you reckon just get rid of him like that?
Yeah, easy. I mean, cool, you're a West Ham fan, but you're shit. Bye.
Wait, he's injured. He's not shit. But
that's fair. He's
not
shit.
Surgery now. He's groin surgery. He's had that surgery being done now. I would give him 6 months to prove that he can play again, or sell him to the MLS.
Yeah, sell him to.
I don't think an MLS team would take him. They're probably a bit too smart to take someone.
Oh no, MLS team will take him for sure.
They took Winston Reed.
Winston Reed's like at least been playing for the under-23s. My man's in a walking machine.
For fucking how long though? Like how long was he out? A year and a half?
A long time. But how long has Jack Wilshere been out? Basically his entire career. I mean,
yeah, maybe so.
Yeah, I mean it's crazy because. Go ahead,
I was shocked that Andy Carroll didn't come over, but he chose to go back home to Newcastle. I mean, it doesn't. See, they don't care about injuries; they care about names. It's about marquees, about marketing over here in the States. It's not about talent. Get the fuck out of here.
And Beckham would have him at the MLS.
100%. So if they sign him, basically for the autograph sessions that they can make money off and stuff like that, and to sell jerseys. It doesn't matter if they play a fucking game.
Yeah. Well, because the thing with that too, if you get Jack Wilshere on your team, you're kind of attracting any Arsenal fan that pays attention to the MLS to come and watch just to support him.
Oh, yeah.
They could give a crap at DC United, the Colorado Rapids. We had Tim Howard. You get extra fans there just because Secretary of Defense. And we were terrible with Tim Howard. But still, he's going to be on all your marquees and everything. Yeah, sold seats. So and just like Tim was saying, it's
a shame. America is just fucking. American football is horrible.
Soul to soul, yeah.
I'm seeing a big unveiling, signing. Jack Wilshere comes out, does kick-ups, falls over, dies. It's going to be absolutely amazing.
Oh yeah, David Beckham would market the shit out of that.
Dude. Absolutely, dude.
I can see the headline now. Florida man injures Jack Wilshere. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait.
Yeah, Florida man. Yeah,
last man.
Tim flying to Florida, one-armed. Come on.
I'll be there in a second. I'll walk there if I have to, man. I love Florida, dude.
See a gator and lose his mind.
We've been chatting for an hour and 20 minutes. I've got one last thing to talk about before we go off, and that is, what do we think about the coronavirus and affecting potentially the end of the games for the rest of the season?
Oh, God.
Tim, what's it like in America down there?
Well, there's a lot of mental illness in the United States, and unfortunately, they buy into this bullshit. I don't buy into it. I think it's a absolute fucking hoax. So I'm not going to get into politics, but it has a lot to do with politics, and I'm just going to leave it at that.
Which bits are hoax? Just out of interest. You don't have to go into it. Just the fact that which bits are hoax?
Okay, so it's political. It's created under the or whether it's true or not. All these cases and shit like that. Where's the fucking proof of all these cases? I want to see it, but I don't really want to see it. I don't give a shit. It's because it's an election year, dude, and the economy is doing so fantastic, and they do not want Trump reelected. That's the reason why this was created, because China hates Trump. So again, I'm not going to get into this any further because I'm being baited, and I will not refuse to get into politics. But it's all political, dude. 100%.
I'd never bait you on anything. I'd never bait you on anything. Also, what's your opinion on Fredericks and Fabianski again? I just want to.
Oh, there we go. So I'll talk that all day long, man. I'll talk that all day long, but not politics. It's basically a political virus, and you guys can continue.
Anthony, what's your views? We go bottom up.
Well, coronavirus. I don't drink Corona, so I don't really know. But to be honest with you, I mean, yeah, like Tim said, I mean, it's politics. It's just politics. I mean, how are they going to go ahead and what is it? All supports could be banned from the London Stadium for coronavirus. Come on, man. I mean, they make money out of it.
Yeah,
it's not just the London Stadium; it's everywhere. They're talking
everywhere.
They're even talking about, as me and Charlie know, shutting down WrestleMania because of the crowds, which were very upset.
God,
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
It's nuts, man. And I think the thing that would be crazy for it, I mean, there's 10 games left, and there's still so much to be decided outside of who the champion is. And I think the most ridiculous thing that I've heard from it is that if they cancel the season now, that they wouldn't crown Liverpool the champion because they're not the champion yet. Which I think, if for whatever reason, if it did happen, if they shut it down, you still got to give them that trophy because of just all that they've done this season. Even though a lot of their victories, you got that VAR stuff, but I don't know. I mean, as much as I don't want to see them get it, I think it would be hilarious if the one time Liverpool is this fantastic, they don't get
worldwide mayhem. It would cause worldwide mayhem.
I think that would cause a lot more problems than it would solve.
So there was either that, or just completely wiping out the season as a whole, or just crowning the champions or leaving the standings as is, and just saying, okay, here's the final results with X amount of games left. But I'll never forget, man. The '94 Expos, dude. Fucking, they had an opportunity to actually get to the World Series, man, and they canceled that season for a strike. But still, I don't like this whole bullshit. I mean, basically, just let them play. Let them play the remainder of games a few weeks from now. Fuck international football. Who gives a fuck about that? This is Premier League, man. Let him finish the season, dude.
Same thing with the teams in the championship. What does that do for those teams like middle
Seriously.
or for West Brom, has
they're
promotion,
slipping,
and all that.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean,
Please.
they're still first right now, only by a point or two. But at the same time, more than likely they're going to get promoted. I think the only issue is if they fall down to third and have to do the playoff. But regardless of all that,
ask Lee my reaction when he told me that on Saturday morning when I came over to his house to watch the match. He told me that there was this potential thing was going to happen. I put my hands on the table with my head down because I was about to slap him right in the face. I'm like, this can't happen. Like, you can't cancel this fucking season. This is Premier League, dude.
No, not when it's almost
don't
over.
be saying that shit.
Yeah, right. For real.
Charlie, what do you think, man?
Like realistically, well, first of all, shout out to Emily Pullum, who Tim met.
She's great.
When I was on the boat, the first thing she said, or the first thing I heard her say, was if they cancel all the games now because coronavirus, we stay up. So that's a positive. Realistically, there weren't. Like there's always talk about playing potentially behind closed doors and stuff like that.
I love Gary.
It's just, realistically, other countries are already doing it. It may happen eventually. China are obviously having problems. Japan have started cancelling all of their events. The Olympics might get screwed over because of it.
Yeah.
But what about changing the preseason friendlies and shit like that? What about just not having preseason friendlies and just extending the regular season?
I don't think you'd have to extend the season. Just cut off a couple of preseason. Like, who needs the Betway Cup? We don't even win it.
Listen, we need the Betway Cup because it's the only time we're ever going to win a trophy. But
yeah,
if you think about it realistically, like the Premier League aren't going to want to cancel games because they earn so much money from it, and it's not they don't earn their money from attendance, although that is obviously a chunk of change. They earn their money from broadcasting rights. So even if the games do get games do get affected, it will get played behind closed doors. It won't get paid. They won't get cancelled, I don't think, but just because there's so much money to lose from it. And let's be real, putting 24 men in a stadium is a lot less dangerous than putting 60,000. Yeah.
Oh yeah, very true.
Just have the league get sponsored by Vicks and Lysol, and just spray the pitch before the games, and spray all the seats down, and spray them after, and put it in the sprinkler system. Put Lysol in the sprinkler system, and
as soon as you go in.
Made for a very interesting smell, that's for sure.
Smell like
it kills 99.9% of all bacteria.
Right.
Yeah, but it's the 0.1% that gets you.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I'll take that risk.
And your arm, Tom, is a bit dodgy. Tim is already dodgy, so you'll be the first one gone. The zombies are coming. Anyway, right, we've been chatting for an hour and a half now, guys, so thank you very much. Thanks for everyone in the chat that has stayed with us for this long.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys and all your comments. So thank you. Don't forget to like, share this page. Don't forget to go to our website and buy any merchandise. Tim needs some more extra money to get his arm better, so definitely go buy some stuff.
I'm pitiful.
Just one thing left to say, guys. Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
I can't do it.
Hashtag Big George.
Do it for me.
Come on, lads.
Recall Big Sausage.
All right, later.